Interesting news in the college football world over the past weekend and late last week. So we're here to talk about it. And yes, I'm talking about Nico Iamaleava uh, departing from Tennessee. Tennessee Iamaleava parted ways. So Tennessee is without its starting quarterback from last year. Who knows who they will turn to in 2025? We're not here to talk about that particularly. Let's get into this entire situation with Nico Iamaleava, what it means for college football, what it means for Tennessee, what it means for Nico as well. But before that, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel here. I'll be pumping out a lot of college football content and short form videos, long form videos, just like this. So, uh, first of all, just to debrief the situation, if you guys don't know, back on Thursday evening, Tennessee, Nico Iamaleava in contract negotiations. This was reported by Pete Nakos of On3. Like he said here in the tweet, it is unclear if the negotiations will impact whether he enters the spring transfer portal window. So at the time, I didn't think much of it. Yeah, it's not a shock that like guys are in active contract negotiations throughout the year. Uh, so it wasn't a big shock see this headline. Now, a lot of them are not public because a lot of schools like to keep that in house, uh, whether it be to protect the kid or whatnot. Not sure exactly why, but Tennessee leaked this to the media. They did. So I mean, Nico, this headline wasn't a big shock that it is happening, but it is a little bit surprising to see this being leaked out in public. Uh, and Thursday night as well, a family friend of the Iamaleavas, Cordell Landers is his name, basically said there's no contract negotiation. They're happy with the contract they have at Tennessee, and then there's that report was just the NACO's report was kind of just a whole bunch of nothing. Uh, but then late Thursday night, Nico's dad posted this, which I thought was really interesting. Basically saying Pete Naco's that report was not true at all. He doesn't know where it was coming from. Call him a bad name that I won't repeat here, but but the note in the last of this tweet from Nico's dad. He said his close source that he trusts with his life from the University of Tennessee staff gave him this. So, like I said, this came from the University of Tennessee. The staff had enough of Nico's antics, Nico's family's antics, and they basically said, "Yeah, he's negotiating our contract right now, and we're not budging." Uh, so then that led to what was probably the first major holdout in college football. And then Nico Iamaleava did not show up to spring practice on Friday, did not even show up to team meetings. I mean, if someone doesn't show up to spring practice, they could be holding out for, a slight tweak in their ankle, it's a slight injury just as a precautionary measure. But this was not the case. Nico no-showed practice, no-showed team meetings on Friday, and that was the day before the spring game. Tennessee's spring game was on Saturday. So this was an important practice because they were playing spring game in front of fans on Saturday. So Iamaleava did not show up. First real holdout in college football in the NIL era here. And so on Saturday morning, I believe this was Tennessee, Pete Thamel from ESPN announced that reported that that Tennessee was moving on from Nico. Coach Heupel informed the team on Saturday morning before the spring game. Yeah, and the main driver was him missing the meetings and the practices. So I mean, this thing escalated within 48 hours. He's in contract negotiations, and he's off the team. So this thing really escalated quickly. Want to go over this note from ESPN article. So the day before the winter portal window closed, which was in December, late December, I believe it closed. So this probably happened after Tennessee was eliminated from the playoff, if I were to guess. Sources told ESPN that Iamaleava's representatives wanted to renegotiate his deal in the $4 million range, but his deal was unchanged. So Tennessee did not budge when Nico's camp requested $4 million for NIL. So why $4 million? Well, Carson Beck's getting paid that for transferring from Georgia to Miami. Darian Mensah transferred from Tulane to Duke. He's getting paid around that. So the QB market has changed, which is why that $4 million is why it's that number. So Iamaleava was expected to make $2.4 million with the Vols if he stayed with them this year. So yeah, at the bottom there, Tennessee wasn't going to blink and pay him any more money. So credit to Tennessee. They held their ground. They said, no, you're not worth $4 million. We're going to pay you what our original deal was, and if you don't like that, then you can get out. And that's what Heupel did. That's what Tennessee did. I thought they did a really good job with this. Uh, so, I mean, what does this mean for college football? Well, first of all, it's historic. This is the first major public, holdout in college football. I'm sure it's happened before, definitely not to this degree where it's like a notable starter, and even a Heisman contender. I mean, if you look at the odds on any sports book to win the Heisman, Nico's up there. He's not the favorite per se, but he's up there. So he's a notable player in college football. And this was leaked to the media. Like everything played out in front of the media, in front of a public eye. Uh, so yeah, that's why this is historic. And I think I think he's going to have a hard time finding a landing spot that's going to pay him that amount of money. I mean, $4 million for what he did last year, I wouldn't say it's worth it. I mean, he projects to be a solid quarterback, a potential NFL, day one draft pick quarterback. That's what he projects to be. I don't think he proved that last year. So you're kind of paying him based on projection if you're going into that 4 million range. And plus, if you're a team, is it worth the risk because you know of what just happened? Because if he plays well, he might request more NIL money. Uh, at each transfer portal window. So is it worth putting up with Nico's antics and his family's antics? I think Nico's camp really screwed him here. I think they did. I mean, I almost blame, well, first of all, the system itself is not ideal. The system itself sucks. And the NCAA is to blame for that. They put out this NIL with no guardrails, no rules, just have at it. So that's who to blame at number one. But number two to blame, I think it's Nico's camp, whether it be his dad, his agents, his representatives. I mean, Nico's just a 19, 20-year-old kid. So he's listening to the people around him. The people around him, I think, screwed him. Now we'll see how much he makes, or if that even gets released publicly, how much he's going to make at his new school. But I have a hard time seeing anyone paying him what he wants at $4 million. I think he'd be lucky to get what he was going to get with Tennessee this year, which is 2.4. So I think he's going to have a hard. I think he's going to take a pay cut. To be honest, we'll see on that. Uh, but that's what my brain's telling me. So I think Nico and Nico's camp, Nico's family, Nico's dad. I think they screwed him. I thought it was this post by Nico's dad, who, I mean, it's a little classless, like attacking the media for doing their job. I think that was a joke. So I mean, I think this is good for the sport. What just transpired? I mean, it sucks for Nico. I sort of feel in a way for Nico. Now, I'm not happy with Nico's camp, Nico's family, the NCAA. I think they're the bigger guys to blame in this situation. But I think overall, this is a wake up call. For the entirety of the sport, for the NCAA, and I think general managers, coaches are relieved across the country. I think they see this. I think other players say, "All right, there is a breaking point that coaches can reach where they say, no more negotiations. We're done with this. You're off the team." There is that breaking point. Before, we didn't know that breaking point, right? Now there is that established where if I'm a linebacker making 500K, but I only get 20 tackles a season, I can't just keep asking for more and more money. Eventually, they're going to cut ties with me. And no matter how good I am, right? Nico was arguably going to be, a top 10 quarterback in college football this upcoming season. I mean, he still might be. I mean, like I said, he's up there in the Heisman odds. So no matter how good you are, I think there is a breaking point when it comes to NIL negotiations now. And I think this sets precedent for it, that other coaches can be like, well, Heupel cut off Nico Iamaleava, kicked him off the team. So I can do that to you now. Uh, so yeah, I think this is good for the sport overall that this happened. Sucks for Nico. But yeah, I think it's good for the sport. I think it's a wake up call, especially at the NCAA, to get these guardrails in. And I'm sure we'll get some when/if rev share comes, which I think will be soon. So yeah, I'd love to see your guys' comments on this whole situation. And on what it means for the future of college football, why the NCAA sucks, and pretty much caused all this. Like this wasn't like a total shock that it happened. It was just a matter of time. So yeah, like I said, please like the video, hit that subscribe button. I'll be posting a lot more videos just like this, talking about college football and all that, and also some short form content as well for you guys right here on the YouTube channel. Yeah.